Trapping is an American pastime, one of America's oldest traditions that helped drive Western expansion, an immutable characteristic of outdoorsmen across the nation, and one of the most effective methods of wildlife conservation on the planet. This video contains graphic images and may not be suitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Howdy folks, welcome back to Dominion Predator Controls Down the Line. Today's going to be full of bobcats and coyotes, and that's just about it, so let's get at it. Well, looky there. This is a good looking coyote too. Well folks, we got us another dog here. This is coyote number 39 on check day 53, and they move cows in here to get them knocked up. This is an 80 pasture that's right here, and a lot of my sets were flipped off in here. I'm going to snap the rest of them so the cows don't have to mess with them for a little while, but they're only going to be in here about a week. And we had this coyote that was running in the cows last night and just happened to get caught before they got to the set. Snapped it off. This set, I've showed it before, and I think I showed the remake and construction of this set in the past, but this set was a step down dirt hole originally that I'd made for cats, or that I'd made for coyotes. And the first animal I caught in it, the first animal I caught on this property when I started trapping was a cat, and I had to release it. And I showed video of that cat release. It wasn't a great video because it was with my phone, but the cat, you know, ran underneath my buggy and hung out underneath the buggy, and then whenever I started it and started moving it, he ran off into the brush over there. And so I'd kind of set it up as a dirt hole again, and then I caught a coon, and then I caught a couple possums. I think I've caught one cat, 2 coons, 3 possums, and now 2 coyotes in this trap. So, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again, don't let anybody tell you that a possum remake won't catch, because possum remakes catch animals. And I had this set here, and I had it real blocked off. The last 2 coyotes, the last 2 animals I caught in this set were coyotes, and I had it blocked off for cats, and I'd kind of transitioned it. I'd filled in the dirt hole and turned it into a flat set that was kind of really blocked in for cats. I was hoping to get cats in there rubbing around and, you know, get them caught. I caught a real pretty kitty just about 60 yards up the 2-track here a few days back. And I've caught a lot of coyotes over down here on this other side of the 2-track down here, but I've got these sets in here, and they're, you know, most of them are snapped off. I got 4 sets that aren't snapped off on the other side of the pasture. I'm probably not going to snap them off yet. These are really big, you know, cows, so they're not going to get damaged or hurt by any of these traps I got in here. So just in case, you know, give me something to come check tomorrow in this pasture. There might be you know, a cat or a coyote bouncing one of those 4 traps. But as of now, I've got this dog here. I'm not going to reset this. I'm going to leave it snapped off sitting here on the ground until these cows move out, and then I'll come to and reset everything. A lot of the sets I have here are flat sets. There's a few dirt holes. There's a handful of step downs really, but most of them are flat sets, and the salts in the urine is what the cows are after. So whenever you're setting things with a glandular or setting things with urine, the cows are going to come in after it. That Andy Weiser's Tainted Love that I've been using, which is a Roy Kyle-Kindle formula, yeast formula, is something that has a little bit of urine in it, but apparently it doesn't bother the cows too much, and they don't mess with it too much because it's also got coyote body parts in it, not just glands, but some of the meat and some of the organs are in it. And I'm gonna make some of that up because it's so good. and start using it for myself. And I guess when I'm trapping in cows, I'll be using lures like that, but without urine. So this coyote's a dancer, not so much of a talker. You can see the fur on that coyote is really, really beautiful. The shoulders and neck are a little rubbed out there, so I don't know that I'm going to be able to skin it, but I did catch 4 coyotes yesterday, and one of the coyotes I caught was beautiful, and I'm going to skin it. Even if I don't end up selling it, I'll just keep it for myself. It's a great dog. But this dog and that 1 or 2 of the dogs I caught yesterday, I wish I would have caught early December, because they really run out here with this warm spell that we've been having. You know, I'm hoping we don't lose a lot of fur on the cats. I'm hoping that it doesn't ruin the cat fur, because we were really hoping for a good cold winter trapping. You know, I love the cold weather, and it'll be 30 degrees in the morning with a wind chill, and then by 11-12 o'clock it's in the 50s, and it's not really the winter temps that I was looking for. But this dog here is number 38. Nope, number 39. And this is check day number 52. And I had a blast. Caught it in a cat set, and it was blocked down real hardcore, and that coyote got in there anyway. So I'm surprised. It doesn't normally happen like that. But I'm going to move all my backing and everything, kind of push this trap up here towards this brush. And we're going to dispatch this coyote and move on down the line. We've still got 32 traps left to check, and we're gonna get after it. Well, folks, I'm gonna kind of scream at you a little bit because it's kind of windy. Hopefully you can hear me pretty good. I don't have a lapel mic. Maybe I should get one. But this is coyote number 40, number 2 for the day, the 40th dog of the season. And he's a little jumpy, he doesn't have anything to say. You can see that dirty looking fur, that red nasty fur on it. It's nothing like the coyote I caught just a little while ago. Probably 60 to 70% of our coyotes look like that down here, but you will get some really good ones out of here too. And some of the ones in western Oklahoma, probably got a better percentage of lighter coyotes in western Oklahoma than you do out here in the east. But I don't know if you can see, but you probably can. You can see the hair on above the shoulders, and right there on the spine is real rubbed out. And that's pretty common. This is a flat set that I had set with a bone backing. And I had a coyote gland lure in it. I'm pretty sure I used G-Man Coyote on this one. And just a little turd and a little bit of urine. So this was a good set. It's been sitting here almost, I don't know, 18 days. And it finally went off. I've had 4 animals in that trap, and I caught another animal in that trap yesterday. I've got 2 more traps up here on the dam, but there's 4 traps back here by this gate. And 2 up here on the dam, and then 2 on the other side of the pond. And they've all produced something, and this was just a good location. I'm really eager to get into this 160 that's behind me here, off to the west, but the hunters won't pull out of there until the 15th. So I got another, I think today's the 10th, so we've got another 5-6 days before I can actually start setting some of these other areas. We're still transitioning from coyotes to cats. And I've caught 13 cats so far and taken home 8 of them. So I've got another 12 cats I need to catch before the end of February. And I'm thinking I'm going to hit my numbers here. I've got a lot of good spots that are going to open up once the hunters move out. And they're right there running along a creek or around a lot of water. And there's going to be a lot of cats around. So I'm excited about that. But praise the Lord for these 2 dogs we caught today. Yesterday we had 4 dogs and a cat, which was the best day yet I've had on this ranch. And I'm sure I'll top it off at some point, but I haven't topped it off yet. So we're going to get after it. We're going to dispatch this dog, and then I'll bring the camera over here and set it up where I can show you the remake. We'll dispatch this dog and get on down the line. Thanks. Alright folks, this is how I remake a flat set with a bone backing. You can see I brought those turds in, and then I measured my hole. I punched a hole right there where I had it, and you saw me lay down the stake driver, and on that stake driver I have a line that's about 9 inches away, and I line it up real good. That makes it quick and easy, and I can just punch a hole right there, bed my trap like normal. That trap bed's real good right in that spot. I didn't have to mess with it at all. Antifreeze, peat moss, local dirt to cover, blend it in a little bit. I like to bring my lure in. I put it on the turd, and then I put it down in the hole and on the backing, and then I just squirt it with some urine, and once it's got all that in there, it's ready to go. Well, folks, this happens. I brought that bone in just now to redo this set, but I got a set here that I just put in, one of the newest sets I put in 3 days ago, and you can see where I had my hole and lure completely dug out from all sides, and the trap bed's dug out pretty good. Some of the scat that I had in the set is scattered around here, and there's a catch circle. I think you can see that pretty good, but there's no animal in a trap. And this does happen, and it shouldn't happen, but undoubtedly it's going to. And if you look in there, there's something in there, and it looks to be a bone, but it could be a toe. Whatever it is, based off the size of the catch circle, it was a smaller animal, so probably a coon. And it had gotten caught in a foul way where it didn't hang on. Now, we had a lot of sign in this area, which is why I chose to set here. There's about 4 or 5 coyote scats and a whole bunch of coyote prints and a few deer paws. But let me see if I can get the sunlight in there. When I got here, this was, my trap pan had been pulled back and it was flipped up like this. So I'm pretty sure it was a coon. That's generally the case whenever they dig up the inside of your trap, a coon or a skunk. They both like to dig at fresh dirt. You can see it's a good location to set. We've got this big pond dam and this nice big pond in here. Bunch of trails intersecting into the same spot. And then this old mineral site here, and I'm not sure whether these were cattle mineral blocks or whether the deer hunters had set this up. But the coyotes sure do seem to like it. But this set had been flipped off and thrown up with nothing in it. So I'm going to remake this set. I'm going to put that bone in there as a backing, and I'm going to pray that it actually connects at some point. But this is something that happens to every trapper, and it's important that you learn to adapt and adjust so you don't lose animals. Well, folks, this is dog number 41. It's a loud one. It sure is barking at me. And this was a trench set that I had set here. This is the second dog I've caught in this set in the last 5 days. Put this set in on the 6th, and I had nothing in it the first night, but the second night I had a female here, a big female. And then today, a couple days later, we got this dog in it. And this had this is a trench set that had cat max in it, and it had, I put some Andy Weiser's Bobcat gland in there as a lure rather than use some Pecos or use something with castor in it. I used a gland lure because the dogs are hitting real good on cat gland lure, so I figured, well, I could catch a cat that way, and I could catch a dog that way, so I might as well run with it. I think I'm looking up now. Yeah, this is check day 54. Check day 54. So, good day. We just getting started. I'm behind. I've got 40 traps left to check after this, and I need to try and put in a half dozen more. So I had a big beaver job to set this morning on a 5-acre pond, and I was taking care of that most of the day, so that took me a while. But we're gonna get this stinky dog out of here. This dog stinks real bad, so I don't know if it's a female or not. I hadn't figured it out, but you can see that the backside of this dog is missing a whole lot of hair, and it's got a bunch of wounds. Some of them are starting to heal, and some of them are not healed. So this dog's definitely got an issue. Lice, recovering from mange, I don't know, but you know, this is another reason why we trap. Conservation is an important thing. Making sure that you have a healthy population of animals, making sure you don't have too many. And if I had too many coyotes, I'd probably have a whole lot more with mange, and I've caught more than 50 dogs already this season, and I have. This is dog 41 on check day 54, and you know, it's going to be good. It's just the beginning. I've got a whole lot of sets to check, so I have a feeling we're going to have a handful of dogs after last night. So I'll get this dog taken care of, and we'll get loaded up and rehab the Red Ranger, and we'll move on down the line. All right, folks, for today's product placement, we're going to talk a little bit about Cletis Richards Apple Road Predator bait. I use a handful of different baits. Some of them I produce myself, but I only buy a couple of commercial baits, and one of those isn't produced anymore. The other one is Cletis Richards Apple Road Predator bait, but he also makes a whole lot of lures, and I have a whole bunch of them that I use on the line. So let me show you what I got. So Cletis Richards' number one thing really is this bait, I believe. This is what kind of put it on the map. He's got, you know, some good products, but this bait right here is made with cat meat, and it's a real it's a real good bait, real strong bait, and it catches a lot of critters. So if you're out there trying to catch coyotes or cats in early season, this is a great way to do it. But then he's got a whole bunch of lures that he produces that you can see a lot of them here. And my favorite lure that he probably produces is his cat gland. His cat gland is something I use a lot. You can just tell it works whenever you're using it compared to other lures. It's definitely one of the top producing cat lures that I have. And he has a handful of different food lures, and I don't normally use a lot of food lures. Most of my food lure jars are pretty full. But he's got this 007 that he uses, and then he's got this bite and pull that he'd acquired some Casey Payne's lures a few years back, and now he produces those himself, and he puts his own labels on a lot of them. And I've got a whole bunch of these lures that I use, and a lot of them produce very well around here and really slay the dogs and cats too, for that matter. But bite and pull is one of the main food lures that I use when I do use a food lure. That's my number one go-to. He's got these abracadabra cat calls and a specific cat call lure, and these are all heavily castor based, and they've got a handful of different ingredients in them that make them smell pretty sweet. Very attractive to cats. You'll catch a lot of coons on them as well. And then his coyote gland lure, he's got a Cletis Richards Apple Road coyote gland, and then he acquired Casey Payne's. When he did, he got this Don Coyote, and I use this Don Coyote all the time. The way that it's I don't think you guys will be able to see it at all, but the way that it's blended up, and it works really good whenever you're doing flat sets, and I do a lot of flat sets. So you're able to put it right up on a rock and drip it right down into a hole, and it's not super liquidy, but it is still got a little bit of viscosity to it where it'll move around a little bit, and it doesn't dry up and fall apart on the rocks very easily. Whatever you've got as a backing, it's something that sticks around for a long time and it lasts. This High Plains Drifter is a collar that's got skunk in it, and I use this a lot. There's only about two collars that I use predominantly. One of them is Andy Weiser's collar that isn't produced anymore, and the other one is this. And this High Plains Drifter is a really great collar. Another collar he's got here is called High Lonesome, and you'll hear me talk about this often. This is something I use a lot, and this one has a lot more viscosity to it. You can just drip this right down into something, but this calls in coyotes from a long distance, and I've caught coyotes and cats on this last season. And then another collar that he's got that's really heavy castor base is this Nightcat. And I use Wayne Derrick's Pecos Valley a whole lot. But when I'm not using Pecos Valley, I'm using Nightcat. So between those two lures, they're pretty much on every cat set that I set up, or anytime I start getting into late December, I start using more castor-based collars and more, skunk-based collars. And Nightcat and High Plains Drifter are two of the collars that I use whenever I'm setting up cat sets. Cletis is a really great guy. I've known Cletis for years. And he's always willing to talk with you, answer questions with you, help you figure out what you need. And if you're in the area and you got cat carcasses to get rid of, he's the guy to talk to. But when it comes to commercially produced baits, Apple Road Predator Bait's one of the #1 products on the market. If you need to get something that's going to slay the dogs, you need to go see Cletis at Apple Road Predator Bait. And if you're looking for any of the lures that you can see here, he's got them. Let's get back to it. All right, folks. Check day 55. I said earlier on the coyote I caught that it was 54, but it's actually 55. And you can see I got a pretty decent kitty in there. We got pretty lucky. The last animal I caught in this trap was a cat. Pretty good cat too. So this is a cat remake, and nothing's touched it since. I have a T-bone that you can see there, and it's only had a little bit of cat gland and a little bit of cat urine in it. But this is cat number 14 that I've caught. Number 14 that I've caught, and number 9 that I've harvested. He just left me a huge turd right there, so I can't wait to use that. But it got dark on me. I've been busy all day. We still got 4 other sets in here to look at. I've checked everything else. I just had that one coyote. So check day 55, 1 coyote, 1 cat. Cat sets work. I need to get this cat out of here. Looks like his paw's a little messed up, so we're going to get it out of here real quick and dispatch it so it doesn't have to be any pain. So praise the Lord for that. A lot more cats on this property than I thought originally. And we'll get this cat taken care of and move on down the line. Here's the remake of this cat. Really beautiful cat. Good Tom. And you can see it's just a T-bone. And I got a turd in there underneath it, a bunch of lure all over it. It still had some on it, but I smeared 3 different sticky lures all over it, and just pretty open, no guiding at all. Some little grass around it. So pretty good set, pretty good cat, pretty good remake. Already caught 2 cats in the set. Anytime you have a set that's catching multiple cats, you want to do everything in your power to keep it up and running, because it's going to catch more. We'll see y'all down the line. Well, check day 56, coyote number 42 for the season. She's pretty wound up. She's got a lot of hair missing on her back. Shoulders are all ate up from rubbing. She got chunks of hair coming out of her in different places. She's really fat too, so she must have just had something really filling to eat. She's so fat she doesn't even want to move. She just wants to lay there, let me take her out. So you can see it's a good spot. I mean, I guess you can't see, but we got a bunch of cattle trails coming through here, and it intersects here on a dam. It's really blowing, so I'm not sure how much of my audio you're going to get, but this is all the video I'm going to be able to get of this dog. I'm not going to bust out the video camera for the show, so I'll probably just use this video in it when I do it. Good dog to take out. All right, folks. We got this really good looking cat here. It's a little one. It's the smallest one I caught so far. It's fully committed in there. See, that back leg's all the way in that trap. That trap's a little bit too big for that kitty. It's a Duke 650. So Got in there by the back foot. Sorry about the buggy noise. But I'm gonna back up a little bit before this one gets me. But hell, it's early. I forget which check day it is. I think it's check day 57. Check day 57, December or January 13th. January 13th, 2023. Hell, I don't know what month it is. You sleep 4 hours a night, you spend all night skinning and working, and then getting up early in the morning to do this so you can run a beaver job and get back to work. And it wears you down a bit. So that's part of it. You do this for 3 or 4 months out of the year, and you enjoy a month off in the spring. But I got a pretty good looking cat here. I don't know how well you can see it. It's got a lot of spots. This one will do good on taxidermy.net, I think. This will be a good taxi piece. Small cat, real small cat, totally spotted up, prime fur, and looks great. The arms, the face, just little bitty spots everywhere. Good cat, one of the best cats I caught here. It's got like stripes down the back. It's got so many spots. Anyway, this cat was caught in a step down dirt hole. Really, it was a trench set until the coyote got into it last time. First caught a possum, then it caught a coyote, and then 3 days later I've got this cat sitting in it. So left me a big healthy turd right there. That'll be fun. So I think what was it? It was this was Andy Weiser's horse meat for the bait and Pecos Valley. I just put a little bitty, you know, small amount of Pecos Valley on a stick and shoved it in the side of where that hole was, and it worked out real good. You can't really see anything around behind me, so this might not make for great TV, but it sure is a good time. So we're gonna get this cat taken care of, and we're gonna move on down the line, see what else we got. We only checked 4 traps out of 52, and I got 8 traps set on a beaver job, and yesterday I had 4 beaver out of those 8 traps. So I expect today to be another busy day on the beaver job, so I need to get everything wrapped up here as quick as I can and get on down the road. So I got a lot of traps to check, and it's almost 6:20 in the morning, so we're gonna get after it. Well, folks, you can hear that purring. I got another kitty. So these are both small cats. This one's a little smaller than the one I just caught, and I think I'd seen these cats in the area already, and they got a pretty big mama with them, and she looked really dark from a distance like they did, but it's because all those spots. So there must have been this last year's litter, and I don't know, I might let this one go. I caught them within 100 yards of one another, so they were working the area real good. I put a handful of sets in here knowing that this has got a lot of cat sign, and I found cat toilet, and this is be the 16th cat I've caught, and if I harvest it, the 11th I've harvested. But I don't know if I want to run the risk of trying to let it go. It's so small. That other one, the second I put the choke pole on it, it had problems and it was done. Just immediately done. So this is a heck of a good day so far. I've worked 6 traps. I've run 6 traps, and I have 2 cats. So the cats were on the move last night. It was a nice calm night with a half moon and very little wind. You might be able to see my breath a little bit. Yeah, it's just a nice, cool, chilled air. No wind to speak of. Yesterday I had 1 coyote in dirt traps, and I couldn't even record it on this camera because the wind was 20. It was gusting up to 40, and it was 25 sustained almost. It was horrible. So hell, We got cat number 2 for the day, cat number 16 for the season, and it'd be cat number 11 if I harvested. Cat's really spotted up just like the other one. Here's the other one here. Sorry about the lights from the buggy, but here's the other one here, and it's a dang good cat. So I don't know, maybe I should take them both, put them both on taxidermy.net and let it ride. I trap because I love it, but sometimes the money's good. Here's what it is. This was also a step down. Actually, it was a trench set with some cat max in it. I call it cat max because I put cat meat prepared the way a lot of guys like to do it when they make bait, with Bob Jameson's Max Force bait solution. And it after 2-3 years of sitting, because it wasn't so great the first year, I probably didn't let it break down far enough whenever I made it, but after it sat for 3 years, man, it is killer. So it looks like we're gonna get this kitty. Hate to run the risk of letting it go and something have actually been wrong with it or hurting it when I do it. So talked myself out of letting it go, taking this cat home. We'll get on down the line and we'll see you next time we catch an animal. Well, folks, I'd said earlier when I caught those 2 cats that this was check day 56, but it's actually check day 57. That's why you need to look at your notes. Pay close attention to your notes. Make sure you record everything you can. Try and keep a log of everything that happens, everything you see, everything you notice. And I know it's time consuming and trapping's time consuming, but you know, if you enjoy what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. So we caught those 2 juvenile cats today. Beautiful cats. In fact, I'll show you. Beautiful kitties. Really good looking cats. Look at those spots. Good looking cats. And we caught this dog so far. I still got about 14 traps left to check, so maybe 12. And I've never caught a dog in this set. The set's been here for 55 days. This is check day 57. The second or third day that I put sets in, I came down here and put 2 sets in. One here and one down there, and the other in this cattle trail. There's a 2-track that runs all the way to a gate, and at that empty gate, there's no fence on it. But at that gate, I've caught 5 dogs since that time. And I haven't caught any dogs in these 2 traps. I caught coons in that trap a couple times, possums. I caught a non-target animal once, and that's it. So this trap here has not caught a single thing. It was only uncovered by coons one time. And the wind, we had a really strong wind come through after it was real dry, and it blew the top of it off. All the peat moss and the dirt that was on top of the pan was totally out and exposed. So I refreshened this set twice. And it just had a turd in there, and that turd was almost as white as snow at this point because I've been there so long. And I think the last time I freshened it up was about 2.5 weeks ago. So 55 days, maybe 54 days in the same spot. Finally picks up a dog in the front left paw. And this dog's real timid. This dog hasn't barked. It made a little bit of a noise when I pulled up, and it didn't say a word after that. It hasn't moved an inch since I got here. So I'm sure it's a gyp. It looks like it's probably a younger dog, even though it's got a lot of white in its face. It would have been a great dog to catch early December where the fur wasn't rubbed out, but they start getting spotty and having issues at that point. So we got these 2 beautiful cats and this dog, and praise the Lord for it. I mean, man, I'm blessed today. I got a beaver job to go run yesterday. Half the traps were full, and I pulled 4 beaver out of there that job. So I got to go get that done, and I still got to run these other traps and see what else we got going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, and we're gonna get this set remade. I'm gonna make it a basic, flat set. Oh yeah, I meant to say this. This was what I call a double threat set, and I call it that because I used glandlers from 2 different animals. And I don't always do that. I actually rarely do it. But anytime I set up in the middle of a trail, I either do a trail set because I know there's a lot of tracks and I'm expecting to just have a blind set, or I do a set like that where on either side of the trail I poke a hole. I put 2 different lures on each side. So it generally attracts a lot of animals when you do it. This location just hadn't been that great. Right up there on the top of that hill, location's great, but down here it hadn't been too good. And now I guess it's starting to pick up. So this coyote got caught in here, front left paw, while sniffing one of these 2 glandlers, and I think I'm going to change it up now. It was my coyote number 1 and Andy Weiser's wolf glandler, and now I'm going to come in with any one of those coyote glands that I got and a cat gland. So I'm going to try. I've had a lot of coyote glandlers that the cats or the dogs have strayed away from. So I think what I'm going to use is Andy Weiser's Tainted Love. I have just the smallest amount of it left, and some of the cat gland that I got. I'll just pick one and we'll see what happens. Put it in a cat turd. I brought the cat turds with me. I'm going to put in some scat, put in some urine, poke holes on either side of this. It's going to kind of look like a trash pile set because the way it is. I don't plan on cleaning out the cattle run here at all, so it is what it is. But we're going to get this dog taken care of. We're going to see what else we got and move on down the line. Well, folks, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time on Down the Line, and until then, Dominion out.